talk about the new moon in Taurus. So, leading up to this new moon, we were in the full moon in Scorpio phase, which was really intense. I know for me personally it was intense, and I've been going through a lot of difficult things lately. And I don't know if many of you have felt like that. And that was because that full moon was about, with the Scorpio energy, about the end of something, the end of a cycle. And Scorpio can always be quite intense. Full moons are about release in general. And then Uranus was involved with the new moon as well, so there's unexpected change, some turbulence, trying to free us up from stagnation. So that was a big release time and a lot of change, a lot of just intensity. And so depending on your chart, who you are, you may have felt it differently, but it's been intense out there, and it's kind of weird because it's Taurus season. Usually about building a new foundation. It's about stability. It's the first earth sign. It's about building the very beginning of something, that very solid foundation that you're going to build other things upon. And so usually in Taurus season too, we want that feeling of stability. There all of a sudden is a desire for that. And so it's been kind of weird because we have had a lot of turbulence and change in Taurus season, which may feel frustrating because there's the desire for stability. And this is partly because Uranus has been in Taurus. So the Taurus energy will be changed for a few years because it will bring up the need for change during Taurus season, which is not about change normally. And there is still the energy, though, of building foundations and stability. Like, we are building that. We are planting the seeds, we are building the beginnings of things. Just, there might be things in the way of that, and it just might be difficult. So then, we had to deal with the past couple weeks of the Scorpio energy, putting an end to things, which is very, obviously the opposite of Taurus energy. They're on the opposite sides of the zodiac, which is why we have the full moon in Scorpio during Taurus season. So it reminds us of the polarity of things. It's like, yes, you can have stability and you can build things, but if you don't allow yourself to release old things and old cycles, you can't have that. So that comes along, but it's hard. And like I said, Uranus is a very unpredictable, kind of all over the place energy, but it releases us from stagnation because Taurus is so stable and so grounded that it can sometimes be a stuck energy. So we're not allowed to be stuck during Taurus season anymore with Uranus there. We're not allowed to be stagnant. So this is just important to know. So do know, keep building, but do know there's been a lot of topsy-turviness though. So we're truly building something new, and that's not easy, and there might have been difficult things in various people's lives lately, and I, for one, have had to deal with difficult things, and I'm not quite sure how they all play into this energy, but that is what I'm trying to figure out, and I'm sure all of you are as well. And so this new moon, thankfully, it is a new moon in Taurus, so this is really the new part. We really do get to build those new foundations. Now, before it's like we wanted that, but we had to release things. So now we can do a bit more of the building part, a bit more of the new part, So that's nice. There is a lot going on around the actual new moon, though, aspect-wise. So the new moon, the sun and the moon in Taurus, are making a sextile to Neptune in Pisces. So that is a positive aspect. It adds in this mystical, emotional, sensitive quality to the new moon. And so this says, this energy, it's like as we're building the new, we need to go with the flow. And we need to tune into our intuition. And that will help lead us in the new direction now. That will help us figure out what these new foundations will be and what elements need to be there to make up this new foundation. So go with the flow. Don't feel like you need to see how something's gonna turn out. Keep going with the flow. When you have that flash of intuition, follow it. So there is this very intuitive quality we need to follow in order to build the new. other qualities with this. Neptune mixed with Taurus, very creative energy. You got the imaginative, spiritual qualities of Neptune, that's sort of like downloading ideas, you know, from the universe. And then you got Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, a creative energy, but very grounded, you know, actually making something, you know, making something real on Earth. So you mix those together, and you know, if whatever you're trying to build is a creative thing, that's a really lovely energy, you know. It also just, it tunes you into the realm of infinite possibilities. So when you're building something new, in Taurus energy, which is very practical, you can see though with Neptune that anything is possible. Keep dreaming. Don't doubt what you would like to create because you say, oh, that's not possible, you know, dreams can't come true, I can only do this, which is very limiting. You know, don't limit yourself. Neptune says no, remember the possibilities, incorporate them in your new beginning. Remember your dreams. Why are you dreaming them if not for a reason, you know? If you can think it, you really can turn it into reality. Neptune says everything is real, everything is possible. If you thought it, that, you know, that thought is real in some capacity. You know, Neptune is that planet that I love so much because it just breaks all boundaries. It makes everything boundaryless. It makes everything possible. And yeah, and so if people are cut off from Neptune's energy, you know, they limit themselves and they only see what is before their eyes on this earth, and they say, that's it, you know, I can have more than this. And those that are tuned to Neptune, they tend to have big imaginations, they see things that are possible, they're attuned to realms and things that are not seen with the eyes, like they know there's more. And so tune into your Neptune energy, you know, during this time, and then ground it on Earth with the Taurus. So it's a very nice mixture of energy, the grounding, but with the possibilities, so we see more than just what's on Earth in front of us. So that's really lovely. And it is important, I think, to be more in tune with your spiritual side right now, in order to manifest what you would like with the Neptune energy. So whatever that means for you, whatever that looks like to tune in, I think it would help. And it would also align you more, you know, with your intuition. So that is like our guiding post right now. So definitely tune into that. So that's a big aspect around the new moon. And then at the same time as the new moon, we're having a few aspects. So they're not like connected to the sun and the moon portion, but it's all happening at the same time. So that is 3 planets at 11 degrees aspecting each other. So we got Mars in Cancer at 11 degrees. It is sextiling Uranus in Taurus at 11 degrees. And then Mars in Cancer again is squaring Chiron in Aries at 11 degrees. So, ooh, interesting stuff. So Uranus is involved again. We can't seem to get away from Uranus. The Mars and Uranus aspect is a positive one. So once again, there is still change in the air. You know, again, now it's about the new. So there's still that change. There's still the energy of like, don't be stagnant. You know, there's unexpected change, energy of freeing yourself up, freedom. But it's connected in a sextile and a helping aspect with Mars and Cancer. And Mars is about action. So remember now in this new energy, keep taking action towards change, towards freeing yourself up, you know, build these new foundations, but don't be stagnant. With Mars and Cancer, it's that emotional element. So not only do we have Neptune influencing, you know, the new moon with the intuition and the flow and just feeling things out on that level, but then we got the very like emotional aspect, like what do you want with your heart? You know, what sparks you? What do you feel? And so we got to listen to both these things here as we plant new seeds and make changes. And Mars in Cancer is very driven towards emotional security. It wants what, you know, we want what makes our hearts feel alive and sparked and feel love at this time, but also, you know, what makes us feel emotionally safe. What feels good. And so I guess we do want, in this time of change in Uranus, we don't want it to be uncomfortable, especially with Cancer. We want to feel like emotionally good. But do think about are there some things in your life that need to change and they don't make you emotionally feel good. So it might kind of feel weird to make a change, but they'll make you feel better. So it is at least about feeling good and following that. Mars in Cancer is kind of like a comfy placement, you know, it's about home, it's about the comforts of life, it's about feeling safe, you know. Cancer energy, it's about mom, you know. So we need to take action and make changes for what will make us emotionally feel good, make us feel nurtured, make us feel like we're at home with whatever we're doing. So that's an interesting aspect there about what we're taking action towards, and I think it's good, but it does keep saying there is an expected change around and don't be stagnant. So there's that again. Uranus keeps showing up, man. But that is a good aspect. But then Mars is making the touchy aspect of this time, which is the square to Chiron. And I will say I'm pretty decided as an astrologer that Chiron aspects, especially the difficult ones, might be the most painful feeling, because Chiron is our wounds, and when something touches that off, that it's real sensitive, you know. And it might be worse like in a personal way. So because this is like happening generally for everyone, perhaps that isn't as painful as if like Mars was squaring your Chiron. Like I do truly believe if Mars was squaring your Chiron, that would be a painful feeling. So it being in the collective, maybe not as much, or maybe some people more than others, but there can be this touchy thing, you know. So Mars square Chiron, let's talk about what this could be about. Chiron is in Aries right now, so a lot of the wounds that are coming up are about individuality, your identity, getting to be who you are, being able to assert yourself, feeling independent, like you could do things on your own, even feeling like you can initiate something or have a new beginning and be brave enough to do that. And so a lot of wounds are around this, and so Mars squaring that, it might bring up some anger or frustration, because Mars is how we get angry and frustrated, but it's that Cancer, so there might be some moods, you know, with people, or some frustrations, maybe not too explosive as Mars in Cancer, but some people might be really hermiting out because they're in a mood, they're feeling this tension. Yeah, there might be that first of all. But since Mars in Cancer is so driven to feel good and to feel nurtured at home, you know, all those feelings, and it's touching off with the wound of like who we are, individuality, independence. It might be wounds about feeling good about who we are, you know, or maybe whether we feel nurtured for who we really are, what we really want. It might be wounds around if you stand in your independence or do something on your own or stand out from the crowd, like will you feel nurtured enough or safe enough, you know, because Mars in Cancer is so driven for that safety. There's sometimes the thought of like striking out on your own or doing something by yourself that no one's done before or that you've never done before can seem scary. So there's a bit of an uncomfortable feeling there, you know, around stepping into our power, independence, individuality, and that safe feeling, those emotional safe feelings. Are we going to be nurtured? You know, will we feel at home in the world? Will we emotionally feel good? And perhaps some people with this aspect don't emotionally feel good right now. There's something uncomfortable, you know, where they're not feeling the safe, nurturing energy, and they're not quite feeling able to be themselves, and it's making them feel uncomfortable. And so there might be that little wounds triggered for people. And that might be, you know, since Mars is also making an aspect to Uranus that's positive, it might be like, okay, you're feeling something touchy and uncomfortable here, so you're going to have to make a change, and that change will be a good thing, you know. And then we go to the new moon, it's like, and you got to plant some new seeds, it'll be a good thing, you know. With Neptune, you go with the flow, you follow your intuition and make those changes, it'll be a good thing. So that's all the good energy, you know. And then it's just this wound thing. So there might be some wounds that trigger, you know, you to actually build the right things, flow in the right direction. Take positive action and change that will make you feel good. So thankfully there are a lot of good things around. Like, I wonder how touchy that Chiron aspect will be, but do know there might be, Chiron really is that energy that brings like triggers. That's such a big word in today's world. We really talk about that when our issues, our deep-seated issues come up. We call it a trigger, and that's a very common thing to call it these days. And I do believe if you want to look at where you will be the most so-called triggered, or where your triggers lie, I do think it's Chiron. So there is that, and it's all about where it is in your chart too, because it might be some different areas involved than just the energies I've talked about, depending on your chart. So yeah, so there's a little bit of touchiness, but I think there's a lot of good things. So the touchiness may help us take action and change positively. So yeah, that is the energy for this new moon, however. So there's a lot going on. It's still kind of a crazy time, but this is the new energy. So keep building, keep planting those seeds, keep building your foundation, keep deciding with Neptune, what is your dream? What do you think is possible, and what steps, can you take right now? Like, keep building those little things that lead there, keep doing that, and keep making changes you need to. Make sure that all action you take is based on what you feel in your heart, and be driven towards what will make you feel comfortable, even if right now you don't feel comfortable, or don't feel accepted, or don't feel safe, or a home, or nurtured. If you don't feel those things, be driven by that to build a life and make changes, and believe it is possible to have that as well. A life like that, that includes those things. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful to you, and I wish you all the best on this new moon, and that, we're all making changes for the better, and that you have some good new beginnings in your life. And I will see you all next time. Have a good one. Bye.